Back to the president's proposed budget. Funding within this budget, funding for renewable energy initiatives. Basically, it's on the chopping block. Mandy Gunasekara is with us, a former EPA official. Mandy, as I understand it, the president wants to cut 70% of the budget on renewables. Now, that's drastic. Is it justified?
Yes, absolutely. The president isn't a politician. He's a businessman. So he's focused on ensuring we get the biggest return for taxpayer dollars that are being invested in this budget. And what he's prioritized is rooting out the inefficient programs like what's under the umbrella of the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable at the Department of Energy.
What kind of programs will be ruled out in this budget?
Well, there'll be limited funding for investments in electric vehicles and investments in capturing energy from waves. Now, that's not to say that the president doesn't also prioritize advancing cutting-edge technologies for capturing energy in an efficient way. The problem here is that these have been funded for years and years. They started in the Obama administration, and a lot of this money goes to propping up investment from left-wing donors instead of making budget decisions that make sense for the American people.
Give me an example of that. You said that these are subsidies paid to companies or projects propped up by left-wing donors. You got an example of that?
Well, I think one would be the electric vehicle industry is essentially being run by one company, where the rest of car companies are subsidizing the sales of Teslas to millionaires in California, and government-funded programs should go towards emerging innovative technologies, not ones that have been around for a while and that have received millions and millions upon dollars of taxpayer benefits without a serious return on investment. Today, for example, EVs make up less than 3% of the total vehicle market share, but the government subsidies have continued in earnest. So the president is turning this around in his budget, and that's why it's a smart proposal.
The Democrats, the left, is going to say the president just is not on board with climate change. The president believes it's a hoax, and he's gutting programs favorable to renewable energy. What will be your response to that?
My response would be that the president is investing in ways that are smart. He's investing in R&D. There is a program to modernize the electricity grid in ways that make sense. It's not about picking winners and losers, which was the way of the last administration. It's holistically looking at what's out there and investing in a way that maximizes the return. And you have to do that through smart policies, and that's what you see in the budget.
So the president is getting away from politics and getting into business, basically. That's it, isn't it?
No, absolutely. He is a businessman at his core, and it's a clear difference between the Democrats. You have your tax and spend liberals that are out there trying to sell this whole Green New Deal that comes with $93 trillion of costs. But what is that exactly going to do for the environment? We're not sure. But what we do know it will do is increase the price of everyday activities for American families all over the country. The president's budget is completely opposite. It invests in American ideas in a smart way, and it assures that American families are safe and can be prosperous.
Mandy Gunasekara, former EPA lady. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Stu.
Sure thing.